Hello. Okay, we're going to talk about projections of energy. I talked a little bit about how, us projecting things onto other people is causing them to stay stuck where they are, which again, this even can kind of go into like a curse. I hope she fails, right? Well, that's a curse you're kind of placing on this person. But keep in mind about karma, because whatever you're doing to other people, it's coming back to get you eventually. So be really mindful of your thoughts, what you're projecting to people, how are you seeing them? Hold them in a vibrational state of, I see you healing, I see you well, I see you succeeding, I see you thriving, and hold them. You would be surprised at the power of a strength a mother has for their child or for the people they love most that can pull them out of the worst situations and into the light. It can pull them out of darkness and into the light. Sometimes it just takes that one person to really believe with everything in their heart, you can do this. I know you can do this. If I can do this, you can do this too. And again, that seems to be my motto. If I can do it, you can too, because I'm no different than anybody else. I just seem to figure some things out, and I made some choices that has led me here. Another thing about our energy field and projections. Some years ago when I was at my job, I was really annoyed with my boss. And I kept saying in my office, like, I feel like I'm going to blow up. Like, I feel like I'm going to blow up. And my computer, it was a 2-year-old iMac, it blew up. It literally gray screen, beep. And I thought, oh my God, like I just did that. They had to buy me a new computer. Now anybody who knows Macs, they don't do that. And I thought, oh, my energy is really, really strong. Now going back to when I was 25, I'm 43 now, so I've learned a lot. When I was 25, I went on my first vacation with my friends. We were out in California and we came across these people with this machine, and they said, go ahead, and hold this machine and think of something that makes you mad. So both my friends went first and they thought about something, and the radar thing just kind of like bobbed a little bit, like, oh yeah, see, look at how your energy has power. So I sat down and did it, and I held on to it, and I thought of my son's father, because of course right before the trip he did something that made me mad, and it almost went off the charts. And they looked at me and they were like, what are you thinking about right now? And I was like, my son's father. And like, that was my first insight on, energy and how much negativity. So I was carrying and how it had an effect. And I was really excited to learn more about it. So I bought the book, got home, super excited to read it. I opened it up and it was in Spanish. And I don't read Spanish. So, and that was like in the 90s, and that was like before we had everything at our hands, with the internet. So that ended that. Like, it was like, yeah, this isn't your time for you to read this. I truly believe it's because I would change too much, and I wasn't meant to learn it yet, which is okay because, in this past year, I have studied more and been more dedicated than I ever had in any school system. And it wasn't because somebody was telling me what books to read. It was because I was following my own inner guidance saying, hey, read this now, read that now, do this. Like, and that's how I learned. So it was undoing the lessons that have been done and then understanding about, the projections. Now, to take this to the opposite end, if my energy when it was that negative and hateful was that powerful, imagine what my energy field is now that I'm filled with love. Now that I'm out here, I'm loving people and it's expansive. I'm just radiating that everywhere, right? It seems like a much better state of being. I used to be like this negative magnet to attract things that I didn't want when I was out of balance. And I knew I was out of balance because I didn't even want to be around myself. Those days where you wake up and you get on the road and it seems like every car is coming at you and you're like, just get me off the road. Like, I can't even be around myself right now. Well, after going through this process, it's like, wow, I feel like a whole different person. Like, I am expansive. Like, I didn't even know I could be this love and compassion and understanding. I think Jim Self talks about thoughts are electric, emotions are magnetic. Well, that makes complete sense, and that's something that I kind of talk about in my workshops are, you know, you have this thought and you're like, I want this great relationship, you know, he's gonna be honest and great, but you have a pattern of people lying to you and you weren't taught to go inside to release these trapped emotions. So the universe is like, hey, she totally wants this great relationship. Oh, we're gonna come in, we're gonna come in. Oh, but wait, I can feel she's got unworthy, worthless, you know, trust issues, all these things inside her. She must not really want a healthy relationship, so we're gonna give her where she's at, right? Like attracts like. Unfortunately, most people don't really like that part. They like the beginning part of it, but and then when you start kind of digging in and looking at that, you're like, there's something off here. And I'm going to talk about that right now too. So next video, creating your own relationships, how we are creating our own reality.